My girlfriend told me she didn't need just one man, so I stopped paying her bills and watched her world fall apart piece by piece. I never imagined that one day I'd be sitting alone, typing out the details of a relationship I once believed was built on love, trust, and a shared future. It's the kind of thing you think only happens to other people, the ones who miss the warning signs or get caught up in fairy tales. But somehow that person turned out to be me. For almost 4 long years, I stood by a woman I loved with everything I had. Her name was Lauren, and I met her on a cool summer evening at a music festival in Denver. She was a bolt of lightning in a human body, radiant, magnetic, overflowing with this raw, chaotic energy that seemed to light up any room she walked into. She was the kind of person who danced like no one was watching, laughed like she'd never been hurt, and drew everyone in like gravity. In the beginning, I found that energy irresistible. We bonded instantly over bad coffee from a pop-up vendor and a shared love for obscure indie bands. Everything with her felt organic, like we'd known each other forever. I was a little more reserved, a bit of an introvert by nature, but she pulled me out of my shell in ways I didn't know I needed. She dragged me to midnight art shows, forced me onto hiking trails at dawn, convinced me to try foods I couldn't even pronounce. First, it was enriching. She made life feel bigger, wilder. But somewhere along the way, that magnetism started to shift. What once felt like passion for life slowly morphed into a craving for attention. Not just from me, but from anyone and everyone who crossed her path. It began with subtle comments that I initially dismissed. Little things like, monogamy is a social construct, or flirting isn't cheating if it doesn't go anywhere. I'd laugh it off, thinking she was just being playful or trying to be philosophical. I mean, who doesn't get a little provocative in conversation sometimes? But then the late-night messages started. Texts she'd hide with a quick swipe or a half-hearted excuse. "Oh, just an old friend," she'd say, not meeting my eyes. Then came the Instagram DMs she'd get defensive about whenever I asked. And still, I brushed it aside, telling myself that everyone has a past, that maybe I was just overthinking it. But then there was this night. I remember it so clearly. We were watching some crime doc on the couch, and her phone kept lighting up. I wasn't snooping, I swear I wasn't, but I glanced over at the screen out of reflex. A message flashed across the lock screen. "Last night was wild. When are we doing it again?" My stomach dropped. My hands went cold. I waited, hoped she'd say something. Maybe laugh it off. Give me some plausible explanation. But she didn't. She just picked up the phone casually, locked it, and kept watching the TV like nothing happened. That was the moment something shifted in me. I didn't explode. I didn't accuse her. I just sat there quietly, letting the weight of that message crush me slowly. Later, when I finally asked her about it, her response was so dismissive, so indifferent that it cut deeper than any confession could have. "You're overreacting," she said flatly. "It's not what you think." But I knew better. My gut screamed that I wasn't imagining things. Over the next few weeks, more red flags surfaced. Random hotel charges on our joint credit card. A second phone I accidentally discovered that she claimed was for work. I couldn't even keep track anymore. Then came the final blow, the moment that would break us, even if I didn't know it yet. It was a lazy Sunday afternoon. I'd made us lunch, a simple chicken stir-fry, one of her favorites. But she hardly touched it. She was scrolling through her phone, completely zoned out. I finally asked her, "Lauren, are you even here anymore? In this relationship?" She looked up, sighed like I was bothering her, and then set the phone down as if preparing for a rehearsed speech. "Look," she said, "I don't need just one man to be happy." I just blinked at her, not fully processing the sentence. "What the hell does that mean?" I asked, feeling the room spin. She didn't flinch. "It means I like variety. I like knowing people want me. I'm not built for monogamy. That's just who I am."
No apology. No guilt.
Just cold honesty like a slap across the face. That's when I felt something inside me go still. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I was numb. Years of compromise, of covering rent when she couldn't, of cooking, caring, comforting. It all felt like a joke. And I was the punchline. I didn't say much. I just got up quietly, walked into the bedroom, and pulled my suitcase out from under the bed. She followed me, confused, annoyed. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Exactly what you suggested," I said calmly. "You don't want just one man? Then you don't need me. I'm not going to keep paying to be disrespected." I unzipped the suitcase and began folding clothes methodically. She tried to play the victim then, like I was overreacting. "Oh, so now you're going to pretend you're some innocent saint?" she snapped. But I didn't engage. I had nothing left to prove. I finished packing, looked at her one last time and said, "You're right. I should have believed you the first time you showed me who you were." And then I walked out. I left that apartment with nothing more than a suitcase filled with my clothes and a backpack with my laptop. I didn't take the TV I bought, or the coffee maker I gifted her on our first anniversary, or even the small plant we raised together that sat on the kitchen counter. It all felt pointless. Every object inside that place now carried a weight I didn't want to hold anymore. I just wanted to breathe, really breathe, without feeling like I was drowning in someone else's lies. I checked into a nearby extended stay motel, the kind with flickering hallway lights and paper-thin walls where you could hear a neighbor's TV playing at 2 a.m. Still, it was my space. For the first time in a long time, I felt quiet on the inside, even if the world around me was still spinning from the wreckage Lauren left behind. The first few days were eerily silent. No messages, no missed calls, no explanations. And that silence said more than any long apology could have. It confirmed that I was never her priority, that I had always been just one option among many, a safety net she thought would never tear. Then, slowly, the ripples started. Not from her, but from the people we knew mutually. Friends began messaging me, some with curiosity, some with concern. "Hey man, you okay? Saw something on Lauren's story. What's going on? You might want to check Instagram." My curiosity, that damned compulsion that got me into so many conversations I didn't want to have, won out. I logged in, half dreading what I might see. And there it was, a string of stories that felt like slaps across the face. Lauren in bars, leaning into strangers, grinding on guys I'd never seen before. Drinks in hand, laughter painted all over her face, with captions like, "No man can hold me down," and "Living my best life." It wasn't just the visuals that hurt. It was the message. It was deliberate. It was a public declaration that she didn't just move on. She wanted the whole world to know that I was erased, replaced, forgotten. For a minute, I sat there staring at the screen, jaw clenched, emotions churning between hurt, rage, and some twisted form of relief. Because in that moment, I knew that everything I'd suspected, everything I'd been gaslit into questioning, was absolutely real. A couple days later, I got a call from Chris, one of my closest friends, who, unfortunately, also floated in her social circles. His voice was uneasy, like he was about to drop a bomb he hated carrying. "Bro," he said, "you deserve to know. She's been seeing this guy, Eric, for a while now. Like, months. And from what I'm hearing, there might be another one too. Some people are saying she's bragging about having a whole rotation." I couldn't even speak at first. My mind went blank. Eric? Who the hell was Eric? And more importantly, why did I feel like the last person to know that I was being played? Did she ever care if I found out? I asked quietly. Chris paused. Honestly, I don't think she did. I don't think she cared either way. That conversation lit a fire in me that had been flickering quietly since I left. Because this wasn't about me not being enough. It was about her being addicted to attention, craving it, needing it like oxygen. No matter how much she got, it was never enough. And I realized, maybe for the first time with total clarity, that I was never going to be enough for someone who wasn't even enough for herself. I stayed silent, kept my distance, didn't respond to anything she posted or any of the rumors floating around. I just let it burn on its own. But as with all flames that burn too bright, the fire started to swallow her too. 2 weeks after I walked out, I got an email from our landlord. It was simple, blunt, and guttural in its implication. Rent is overdue. Please resolve this immediately. And of course it was. Because I had been the one paying it every month. I was the responsible one, the provider, the constant. So I did the expected thing. I texted her. Landlord reached out. Rent's due. What's the plan? Her response came quicker than I expected, and it made me laugh out loud. That's your responsibility. You've always paid it. That sentence summed up everything I meant to her. A wallet, a warm bed, a fool. I typed back slowly, each word a nail in the coffin. Not anymore. I don't live there. It's on you now. And that's when the messages turned ugly. From cold indifference to passive aggression. Wow. After everything I did for you, you're really going to leave me like this? I thought you loved me. The irony nearly choked me. I replied with finality, Lauren, you said it yourself. You don't need just one man to be happy. So figure it out. I'm not your safety net anymore. There was no reply after that last message. Just a heavy silence that sat in the room like smoke after a fire. But I knew better than to think it was over. A few days passed before Chris called again. His voice a mixture of shock and humor. Bro, guess who got kicked out of the apartment? I already knew the answer before he said it. Lauren. Of course it was Lauren. Apparently the landlord had enough. After weeks of unpaid rent and excuses, she was finally evicted. None of her backup plans had come through. Eric ghosted her. The other guys gone. The rotation she was so proud of? Dismantled by reality. People started talking. Our friend group, the ones who once gave her the benefit of the doubt, began seeing through the facade. Stories circulated, the bar fight, the late-night screaming matches, the screwed-up web of lies she spun like a spider trapping her own future. For the first time, the mirror she always polished so carefully, that image of the cool, carefree woman who couldn't be tamed, cracked. And behind it wasn't power. It was emptiness, loneliness, consequences. I didn't cheer for her fall. I didn't dance on the ashes of what she burned. But there was a cold, quiet justice in seeing someone finally face what they kept running from. I moved into a new place. Just a one-bedroom apartment with a small kitchen and a lot of natural light. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. Peaceful. The walls didn't echo with doubt. The air didn't smell like betrayal. My phone didn't buzz with excuses disguised as love. I could finally breathe. I could sit on my couch with a mug of coffee, watching the sunlight spill through the window, and not wonder if the person beside me was texting another man under the table. That silence, that solitude, it was healing. Not empty, not lonely, just honest. Sometimes I'd catch myself remembering the good times. The concert in Denver. The night we stayed up talking about the universe. The time she surprised me with a picnic. Those moments were real. They had to be. But they were surrounded by lies so loud they drowned out the truth. And that's what I learned through it all, that love, real love, isn't just about the good times. It's about showing up when it's hard, being honest when it's ugly, staying loyal when no one's watching. And Lauren? She wanted the fantasy without the work, the validation without the commitment, the applause without the loyalty. A month after everything, I got one final message from her. Just a simple, I miss you.
Noe palegi. Noe kuntebileti.
Just that. I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because I finally understood that missing someone doesn't always mean you should go back. Sometimes, it just means you're feeling the void of something you destroyed with your own hands. And I wasn't about to let her rebuild on my back again. Not this time. So that's my story. If there's one thing I can tell anyone going through something similar, it's this: listen when someone shows you who they are. Don't argue with their truth. Don't romanticize their chaos. You deserve someone who doesn't just say they love you, but lives it. Every day. In the quiet moments. In the ugly arguments. In the unspoken trust. I thought I had that once. Turns out, I was just another chapter in her story. But that's okay, because I've started writing my own book now. Thanks for sticking around until the end. If this hit home for you, or if you've ever had to walk away from someone who couldn't love you right, you're not alone. Hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more real stories. Stories that show healing isn't just possible, it's powerful.